welcome to Untitled Another Chapter, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the Superbowl Book Tag. This is originally created by Book, and I will leave it down below. It's kind of funny that I'm doing this in a way because I actually did not grow up sporty at all, and to this day when the Super Bowl is on, I'm the one that volunteers to make all the food for my boys who are pretty big football players. I have one young son right now that's convinced he's going to be a NFL football player. A happening kid. Anyway, but we are Team 49ers, whatever that means. It means we're rooting for the 49ers. When it comes to football and tags, yeah, I'll be all on this book tag and its relation to football. That I can do. So, without further ado, let's get into the questions and let's have fun with this football tag. Alright, so the first question is, name a book that you can't wait to start reading. Well, that's like half my shelf here, Becca. That's not half my shelf. That's like all of the books I own, okay? If I read them all, then I'd probably turn around and just start reading them again. Because the thing about my shelves is I like to keep books that I love to read. And if I've read them all, that means they're all the books that I have loved to read. Which will play a part into another question later. So, this question is also like saying, pick a favorite kid. And that isn't going to happen. So I have 3 books here, and I think one of these will work for another prompt, but my mind immediately went to Go None Go With Me by Jerry B. Jenkins, and I read this one, I was in high school, love the movie. I have actually been wanting to rewatch the movie, but I won't allow myself until I reread the book. This is a romance that I love. The gist is, back in the 1940s, we had a character named Elizabeth, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, we have a main character who basically falls in love with a guy, and then he goes off to war. But then what happens is he apparently dies in the war, and she marries another guy until her first love returns. And then it's kind of what that story is. So this is definitely one I've been wanting to reread, and it's just her walk with the Lord in all of this and her strength of character. I love that book. I have 2 others that I have never read. My mom sent this to me, and I've been wanting to read this for years, ever since I even heard of it. And it is My Dearest Dietrich, and it is the story, I don't think it's of his wife. I think it's of somebody that he fell in love with, Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Did he ever get married? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, I want to read it. It's about the woman in Dietrich Bonhoeffer's life. And it's also written by Amanda Barrett, who looking at this back cover and at her face, I'm pretty sure that's Sarah Barrett's sister. Which Sarah Barrett wrote The Love Riot, which I really like and approve. And if you like the book, Do Hard Things, not Dare. Do Hard Things, you'll like this one. Thank you, dear. That's another one I've been really wanting to read. And then this one, I want to read this one. Why haven't I read this one? I don't know, but it's The Personal Librarian. It is by Marie Benedict and Victoria Christopher Murray. And Maria Benedict is the one that wrote The Other Einstein. This is about the librarian to, J.P. Morgan's. J.P. Morgan's Personal Librarian. I always get it mixed. Okay, moving on. So, when Angie from, she changed her, she started another booktube, but she was a science mama, and I'll leave the other booktube down below, but she kind of hosted like a book gift exchange type of thing, and I got this one, and I picked it up to read it, and that month was fun, and it's been on my shelf, staring at me, taunting me ever since. So those are the 3 that I could pick, like that they just came to my mind off the top of my head. There's also that video I just posted with all the books that I want to read in 2022, so any of those. Also the whole shelf that I never got to, which has like Elizabeth Good on it. I really want to get some of her books done. Okay, we got to go on to the second question. Quarterback, name a book that led you to read other books. So I'm assuming this could go either ways, and I think that's why it was open, because it could be like an author or it could be like a series. I'm taking it as a series, and I was thinking it is kind of working along the lines of these 2 series. So I was thinking The Gold Digger. This is my first read for the True Colors series, and each one has kind of like a color in the title. I have some other ones nearby, but there's like the purple nightgown, the gray chamber, the pink bonnet, the green dress, the red ribbon, the scarlet pen. So they're all centered around colors and true crime. And so this is the one that kind of started my love of the rest. And I have like 4 or 5 that I still haven't finished. And I kind of want to get to that. But this one started my love for all the other ones. As well as, well, here's a teaser for what's upcoming, because I am on the launch team for this book. Or the review team. I don't remember what it's called, but I get to review this book and you'll get to see it coming up. But this is part of the Heroines of World War II. So we had the cryptographer's dilemma. We had, what did you say? The cryptographers? Cryptographers. Yeah, that. Cryptographer's dilemma. The second one was A Picture of Hope, and then here's another one. So this is like the Heroines of World War II has kind of led me on to wanting to read all of them. There's also Mrs. Roosevelt, which I didn't get on that, which is kind of unfortunate because that would have like completed my collection. Oh well. But I'm really enjoying those. So that's what I'm going to say for the book that led me on to others. There's so many more I could have gone with. Okay. Sack, a book that was painful to read. Again, one book, can I just go with one book? Probably not. And my first thought was this book, which is Alana Terry's Out of North Korea. I remember I stayed home from church that day. I had a migraine, I had just a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I ended up finishing that book. And I remember that day so vividly. I was crying at the end of that book. I threw that book across the room, not because I was angry at the book. I was just angry with circumstances that I was dealing with. I was angry with just a lot of things, and that book was just so moving. And it's kind of a different persecution of Koreans and Christians, and it was, oh, that book was hard. So it was a painful to read book. The other one I'm gonna say is Screwtape Letters. Like, if you've read this one, you understand. Like, you're just saying, oh man, I've fallen into that trap. Oh man, I've fallen into that trap. Oh man, I've done that. And Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis is just about these letters that Screwtape is writing to his nephew, Wormwood, and basically it's just the workings of the devil in the lives of the Christian. And whew, that one's hard, y'all. That one's hard. Okay. Point for 2. Name your favorite duology. This one was hard. This one was hard. However, since I sat down, I did think of a few more. In Becca's video, she mentioned having some difficulties finding duologies, so here are a couple. The first one that came to mind, this might be a stretch, but they go together, and this is Finders Keepers and Hide and Seek. Again, this is part of my reread shelf. All of the books that I read in high school, all of the Christian fiction books that I read in high school, and these ones were read over and over again, so really want to read it. Finders Keepers is about a single mom, because she has adopted a boy from the Dominican Republic, and she owns a antique store. And one of her dear mentors has passed away, and the nephew, I believe, or grandnephew, I'm pretty sure it's nephew, but I might be getting it mixed up with Camellia. Nephew? Grandson? Oh my goodness. It is nephew. Okay, I'm not crazy. It's always a nephew. Nephew inherits his mother's basically Victorian home, and he just doesn't have any attachment to it. He doesn't know her. He's not attached to her, and so he and Elizabeth, yes, clash a lot. And she's just like, you don't understand how amazing this woman was, and these precious items of hers, and you're just treating them like garbage. And what are you going to do with this house? Is it going to be torn down? Are you going to restore it? And so on and so forth. And it just is, it's a romance, y'all. It's a romance. But then the follow-up was hide and seek. And this tells the story, I'm trying to figure out how, I mean, it's a romance, so you kind of know what's going to happen. How do you share? Anyway, we have another person that comes into the picture here that involves people from this book, but this gal has a past, and she's thrown into a widower and his daughter, and what her past looks like, you kind of know off right off the bat. She came from jail, and just what all that entailed, and there's sparks that fly, and I'm not really sure how much to share. If those that kind of want to be surprised with this, there's not a whole lot of surprising that you can do, but anyway, there's one duology. Another duology I was thinking of is The Summer of My German Soldier, and then the sequel to that, I have that on my shelf. And then Not My Will by Francina Arnold, that's a really good one, and then there's a sequel to that. So those are some duologies that I've read and enjoyed. Actually, I haven't read the sequel to of the other two, but really want to read those. Halftime show. Name a book that features a performer, like a circus or multiple things. This one, I don't have a whole lot, so the only one I could think of is The Haunting at Bonaventure Circus by Jamie Jo Wright. And, well, it's a Jamie Jo Wright, and I think a lot of people understand, or a lot of people know of this author, this book, especially if you are from Chantal's channel. But this one basically is, I call it a mashup of Phantom of the Opera and The Greatest Show. Mashup, poof, enjoy. This is really good too. It's a mystery. Dual timeline. Okay, so our next question is Fumble. Name a book you expected to love and didn't. And I don't have a book to show you, but I'm going to go with A Study in Charlotte. This was a book about the Charlotte Holmes, who is the grand niece of Sherlock Holmes, I believe, and John Watson, who is the grandson of Dr. Watson. And I had such high expectations for this book. It sounded so much fun, and not only was there so much language in it, I didn't get past chapter 2, and it turned into the whole college fraternity, I think it's called. I don't know. I wasn't a part of that. I didn't get to experience that, so I don't know what it's called, but I was like, I'm done. That one was a big disappointment. Audible. Name a book with a well-done audiobook. And I have to go with the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society for this one. It was a full cast of characters. I love that book. It's told epistolary. I believe I'm saying that word correctly. I have a very hard time with words, just so y'all know. But that one was just so well done as an audiobook. Loved it. Definitely a reread that I like to do. I also really love this narrator, because I don't remember who it is, doing the Amelia Peabody mysteries by Elizabeth Peters. I love her doing it, and I only need to read like 2 or 3, and then I kind of can hear her in my head as I'm reading the other ones, and it just makes those books so much more enjoyable. And I used to watch Bones back in the day, and it's like seeing Bones in a different perspective. So I think having that experience has really enhanced those. So again, I can't just say one book. I'm trying. But those are the 2 that I think were really well done audio wise. And there's more I could think of, but I'll stop with those 2. End zone. Name a series that you would like to finish this year. Well, I kind of started this month Terry Blackstock's If I Run. Actually, If I Run is over there, and I have the other 2. And so this will definitely get finished this year because you're kind of left on a cliffhanger. That's one thing that I have forgotten about Terry Blackstock, and one of the reasons why I really enjoy her. She knows how to grip you and then continue kind of reeling you in with her books. And so I don't like to put her books down. That's why I love Last Light. That's why I've loved these ones and just other ones that I've read. And I needed a break from her. I think there was a couple series that just, I don't know, I didn't appreciate them. I want to say they're the Mercy series. I don't know, after that I realized, oh no, I know what it was. It was a Cape Refuge series. After those, I really didn't pick her up as much. And now I'm like, I kind of want to read more. And oh my goodness, have y'all read the author's note at the end of If I Run? Wow, that was some pretty good, deep reading right there. That was worth it just to get to that point. So that's one that will get finished this year, okay? Once you're left on a cliffhanger like that, and it's why I wanted to wait until all of the books were out, because that's one thing. If I'm left on a cliffhanger, I'm less likely to pick the book up again. So now I have all of them. I can read them. I can enjoy them. Woohoo! All right. Touchdown. Touchdown. Name a book that made you celebrate. This one was really hard to do. I'm going to go with The Outsiders. I was really hoping with the stack of books that I have here, I would have some maybe ones that people haven't heard as much, but this is the only one that I could really think about. The Outsiders, I think, just is one that you celebrate at the end. It's hard to describe how or why. It's just good. And this might be a stretch because it is kind of thought-provoking. It is kind of a gangster boy and what that looks like, but it was done well, and I think just knowing that a 15-year-old wrote this, just makes it that more impactful. Okay, that's it for the Super Bowl tag. Have you read any of these books? I would love to hear what you think of them in the comments below. And she has left this tag open for anybody to do, and I personally just kind of like to do the same thing. I'm not very good at choosing who to do and what to do. So if you have a YouTube channel and you would like to do it, just hop on. The prompts are down below, and well, I'll see you in my next video. But until then, have another cup of coffee and read another chapter. Bye.